And I remember flying, Do you think I flew like that? Do you think I was flying and then I got down under and then I was walking upside down? And I wrote this thing for the Sydney Morning Herald. They put on some weight over there. I don't know what I was doing that time. I put on weight. Anyway, I wrote a piece called The Sydney Stone in the Sydney Morning Herald. And they mangled it on me. They started to change it into kilograms. They ruined the whole pace and the intonation and everything. But anyway, the whole thing was like, am I heavier because I'm upside down? And that was the joke. Everybody's laughing. It's like, of course you're not upside down. We're not upside down. We're not spinning. Why do we believe absurdities? This is the whole thing. I mean, I think as long as the dark ones, the occultists, think that we believe nonsense, they can keep pushing nonsense our direction, like the whole thing. And as long as we're like, don't talk about that. Don't talk about it. You're going to make us look crazy. What's more crazy? Think we're on some kind of spinning rock walking upside down in Australia. I mean, what's more crazy at this point? Thinking that the water is all held together by gravity, but a little fruit fly is managing to fly around the place. Got to discuss it. I love the discussions. Not always, because you can't say always, but the more compelling evidence and debate for me is coming from the flat earthers. I'm not sure about the Arctic wall thing. I don't know. I mean, you see, I don't think we're third rock from the sun and all that. When my kids are looking at all that space stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'll be taking all that with a pinch of salt, lads. And this ever-expanding universe and multiverses and all the rest. Do I know? No. I just know we've been lied to about just about everything. So, when I'm standing beside a very still lake, I'm like, we're not moving, are we? We're not spinning around. This is nonsense. We're not walking around upside down in Australia. Bloody nonsense. So it's just using your noggin, like with the whole COVID thing, it's like give your whole head a wobble. 99.97% survival rate, novel gene therapy by people who want to depopulate the planet using pretendy vaccines. Common sense. You don't need graphs, charts, peer-reviewed studies. You don't need all of that. Just a little bit of common sense is all that's required.
Do I know the shape of the Earth? I don't. What I made here is an image of where we're told we live on a Polaroid picture, representing a moment in time, because that's all we get here. Do you want to know how I became a flat earther? I wanted to debunk the flat earth theory by finding empirical evidence on the motion of the earth, the curvature of the earth, and the validity of space travel. When I couldn't, beyond a shadow of a doubt, prove those three things to myself, it sent me searching for why. This is a powerful combination, showing you that we're all just on borrowed time here. If we don't know where we live, we don't know why we're here, we're certainly not doing it right. Just by being a part of the earth, we are all entitled to freedom, travel, learning, building, growth, our own journeys. Instead, we're all restricted by boundaries. We're trading our moments and our journeys for shelter, for food. We're wasting all our time here just for someone else's permission to exist. Look at the other creatures. A fish doesn't pay a toll to swim up a stream. A bear doesn't get taxed to live in a cave. A bird doesn't hang a yellow permit in the tree when they build their nest. I don't believe that we're living our lives the way that they were intended to be, and I believe this plays a big part in it. You know what's funny? For most of my life, I did believe this is where I lived. And when I believed that, no one ever questioned my education, my understanding of science, or my sanity. It wasn't until I made a mention of the flat earth that I became a victim of the animosity and the ridicule. This is exactly what drove me to want to put this festival together. It's a chance for people to get out from behind these screens and come and talk about eating healthier foods and living out their journeys. Holistic healing, spiritual enlightenment, and how to detach from this system of play money that seems to ultimately somehow enslave all of us. I hope this turns out massive, and I hope it shows the rest of the world that it is okay. It's okay to question these hierarchies, these authorities, and these boundaries that we're all expected to bow down to.
All right, y'all. Remember this. They can't lie to you. The truth is always hidden in plain sight. Genesis 1, verse 1. In the beginning, when God created the universe, the earth was formless and desolate. The raging ocean that covered everything was engulfed in total darkness, and the power of God was moving over the water. And God commanded, "Let there be light," and light appeared. God was pleased with what he saw. Then he separated the light from total darkness, and he named the light day and the darkness night. Evening passed and morning came. That was the first day. Then God commanded, "Let there be a dome to divide the water and to keep it in two separate places." And it was done. So God made a dome, and it separated the water under it from the water above. He named the dome sky. Evening passed, and morning came. That was the second day. So, is this the firmament? Are we under a dome? I don't know.
Oh my, we got you now. So NASA is reporting that the moon actually glows brighter than the sun in images from NASA's Fermi telescope. Firmament. So I know you're wondering to yourself, Jay, what does that mean? That means that they were able to use the telescope to detect gamma rays. And the gamma rays that they found were brighter than the sun. And I know you're asking yourself, but Jay, how is that even possible? Well, it's possible because the moon shows gamma rays with energies above 31 million electron volts, or tens of million times the visible light. At these energies, the moon can actually be brighter than the sun. So we're supposed to think that this is supplying the energy, but can't deliver the energy. So I really think it's about time we get out of this scientism. Appeal to authority, and we start actually doing some research on this model. Because when NASA is saying in this, that if we could see this in gamma rays, it would actually appear brighter to us than the sun. So a wise man once told me, always end things with someone else's words because they've already said it better than you can. Richard Feynman said that I would rather have questions that can't be answered than answers that can't be questioned.
Planets aren't real. You heard me, and I have proof. In the Bible, God specifically only created the sun, moon, and stars. Nowhere in the Bible will you ever find mention of planets. But here's the thing about stars. They're also commonly referred to in the Bible as angels. For instance, in Revelation, it mentions 1/3 of the stars falling from heaven. In Matthew 24:29, it talks about how those stars will fall from heaven during tribulation as well. The best part is that I know exactly what kind of angels these were. These angels are referred to as Galgalim, and they're described in Ezekiel. This is a great representation of what Ezekiel saw. This is a Galgalim. Now I want you guys to really look at the structure of what a Galgalim looks like. And now I want to show you what a star looks like from a telescope. I'll show you a video. Look familiar? Now here's my leading point. I'm pretty sure that all of these planets are actually just fallen angels. And it's proven across so many different cultures. All of these gods were fallen stars. That's why when I talk about how dangerous astrology is, I couldn't be more dead serious. Nothing on earth is what it seems, but the word of God is what will always be.
I'm not a flat earther, but I've got a special place in my heart for everyone that is. The reason I love flat earthers so much is that they're brave enough to ask the questions that nobody else will. There are obviously serious consistencies with our space program, with the way the world operates, and why they hide certain aspects of the Earth from us. There's a serious issue with the rainbow being shaped like a bow, along with a bunch of other high strangeness that flat earthers are trying to understand. The fact that people make fun of flat earthers the way they do and call them flurfs just shows me, no offense friend, a lack of courage and critical thinking. Because the flat earthers are on to something. Though there is no reason to think that it couldn't be, considering everything you think you know about the Earth was told to you by professionals. Professionals that could be lying to you, and we found that scientists lie quite a bit with a lot of the scandals that have happened in the last 20 years. So it's very interesting to me the way people ridicule and dismiss flat earthers when a lot of their questions are actually really reasonable. Again, I'm not speaking from the perspective of a flat earther. I don't know what shape the Earth is. I think it might be a realm or a holographic projection, and not a planet or a flat plane. But I think the answer to these questions actually lie in the pursuit of the flat earther. Not to mention many of the theories that are connected to the flat earth theory are also very interesting, including Tartaria, mud flood, Atlantis being a real place, the Earth catastrophe theory, and the Anunnaki alien ant farm theory. It's all worth looking into if you're trying to understand the purpose of human beings on this plane. So maybe what we should do instead of ridicule them like Bill Nye the Science Guy and Neil deGrasse Tyson, who are barely scientists themselves, is actually hear out their theory and then test it. Ask good questions. Have a conversation. I think most people that just absolutely dismiss someone when they say something are actually afraid of the consequences of them being true.
TV shows that expose the true shape of the Earth, Part 1. This is a 2-minute video that Cartoon Network uploaded to their YouTube channel called The Earth is a Pancake. It's from the show Teen Titans Go. And when they said the butter wall, we're talking about the ice wall that God created, when he gave to the sea his decree that the waters should not pass his commandment. And just like how he said the sun and the moon move around the earth like this, he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit, a circuit is literally a circle, unto the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. And how a race is usually done? In a circular track like this. The Bible speaks the truth and they know it. This is why they put the truth in their shows. God says there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. What you have said in the dark will be heard in the daylight, and what you have whispered in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed from the rooftops.
I just figured this out. This is pretty cool. Anyways, guys, I have been going through the Bible for hours trying to find a bunch of scriptures on the earth because there's so many people that talk about the flat earth. Okay, guys, listen to this. So I have some scriptures. So in the beginning, right? In Genesis, it says, God's Spirit moved over the surface of the waters. Okay? Let there be an expanse, and an expanse is a space, okay? It's a separation. Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters. And God made the expanse, and separated the waters which were below the expanse. And it was so. Psalm 96:10, indeed the world is firmly established. It will not be moved. Psalm 104:5, he established the earth upon its foundations so that it will not totter. Definition of a foundation. A foundation is a base for something, a base on which something rests upon. Totter, definition, to tremble, to rock, to sway, to wobble. Job 38:4, where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Psalm 82:5, they do not know, nor do they understand. They walk about in darkness. All foundations of the earth are shaken. Isaiah 24:18, for the windows above are opened. The windows, right here, the windows, okay, were opened, and the foundation of the earth are shaken. Isn't that so amazing? And did you know in King James Version, it talks about the firmament, guys. And a firmament is a dome. It's a solid dome, like a vault. Guys, if you want to know truth, you need to look into the Word, the Bible. Again, I say it in all my videos. It is our map of this life, guys. The Holy Spirit will be your compass. He will guide you in all truth if you ask Him. I promise you. I thought flat earthers were like bonkers, but now that I'm actually reading the Bible, I'm like, wow. But remember, don't put your faith in man, only God.
Go back to when you were 7 or 8 years old, sitting in that classroom, and they were beating this into your head. They were beating this into your head. What if they beat this into your head instead? Do you think it would have taken as much effort to convince you that you live on a plane, non-rotating plane that kind of just goes on forever? Or that you live on this? And you see how this works. I know you've driven, 6, 7 hours before in your life, right? Think about what you saw along that way. Up and down and hills and valleys and all that stuff. But magically, it forms this perfect sphere. Think of how much indoctrination has to happen for you to believe that. Leave your mind to its own devices, and this makes way more sense. Way more sense.
Yeah. Scientists discover Earth's Star Trek-style invisible shield. A team of scientists led by the University of Colorado, Boulder, has discovered an invisible Star Trek-style shield that blocks so-called killer electrons 7,200 miles above Earth. The electrons, which travel at near light speed, are capable of damaging space electronics and can put astronauts in danger. The shield, which forms a barrier to particle motion, was found in the Van Allen radiation belts, according to distinguished Professor Daniel Baker, director of CU Boulder's Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics, who led the study. The radiation belts, which are held in place by Earth's magnetic field, are two donut-shaped rings that are packed with high-energy electrons and protons. It's almost like these electrons are running into a glass wall in space. I wonder what that could be. Baker in a statement says, somewhat like the shields created by force fields on Star Trek that were used to repel alien weapons. We are seeing an invisible shield blocking these electrons. It's an extremely puzzling phenomenon. The scientists discovered an extremely sharp boundary at the inner edge of the outer radiation belt, which appears to block electrons from breaking through the shield and moving toward Earth's atmosphere. Two donut-shaped rings. Kind of looks like that, don't it? Crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. It looks like we have forgotten to calculate the 1,000 mile per hour spin underneath us as we fly from LA to New York. That being said, we are flying 500 miles per hour backwards, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to ask you to remain seated and enjoy the complimentary nuts. Thank you.